This is the Space Shuttle that you've never seen. A fully reusable spacecraft designed to make space travel routine, efficient, and decades ahead of its time. It wasn't just a vision, it was NASA's original plan for the future. But then everything changed. Political battles, budget constraints, and shifting priorities buried this ambitious design before it even had a chance. So, what happened? Why did NASA abandon the space shuttle that could have changed spaceflight forever? It was the late 1960s. NASA had just done the impossible, landing a man on the moon. But Apollo was never meant to be the final step. It was supposed to be the beginning of something even bigger. The next logical goal was to make spaceflight routine. The idea, in practice, was simple. Create a fully reusable spacecraft that could launch like a rocket, land like an airplane, and dramatically reduce the cost of getting to space. This wasn't science fiction, it was NASA's plan. NASA's first space shuttle design was indeed revolutionary. Instead of the fragile, partially reusable system we ended up with, this concept had two piloted vehicles, a massive winged booster and a smaller orbiter. The booster would lift the orbiter into space and then glide back to Earth, just like a plane. Meanwhile, the orbiter would complete its mission and return to Earth on its own. No discarded fuel tanks, no solid rocket boosters, just pure, efficient engineering. As bold as the concept was, reality had other plans. A fully reusable space shuttle was possible, but it was going to be very, very expensive to come up with and design. NASA was facing mounting pressure from Congress to cut costs, and the Air Force, one of the shuttle's biggest supporters, had its own demand. It wanted the space shuttle to be able to carry reconnaissance satellites into orbit, and NASA's current design couldn't hold such big satellites anyway. The result was that NASA had to redesign the space shuttle to be cheaper and also accommodate military payloads. Gone was the winged booster. Instead, NASA settled for a partially reusable system, one that still promised frequent flights but at a much higher cost than originally planned. This was a decision that would define the space shuttle program forever. The shuttle, as we know it, achieved incredible things, from launching the Hubble Space Telescope that changed the way how we look at the universe, to assembling the International Space Station. But what if, just what if, NASA had stuck to its original vision? A fully reusable space shuttle would have changed human spaceflight forever, kind of like how Starship is doing today. It would have changed the way we think about space travel, and might have changed our lives that we're living right now. The abandoned plans for the space shuttle were more than just a what if. They were a reminder of what happens when ambitious ideas collide with political and financial realities. But the thing is that great ideas never really die. Today we see echoes of NASA's original design in reusable rockets from SpaceX like Starship, and the dream of making a spaceflight as common as air travel is closer than ever. Maybe, just maybe, the future that NASA imagined is finally on its way.